Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Our last segment, and it is time for a special segment for you, our Winter Sports All Area. The section being published this weekend. We had in today's paper the list of all the all-league teams. Just to avoid any confusion, all league teams selected by the coaches in those leagues, and it's being honored within your own league. The all-area section, we encompass the entire county. So every league in the county. Not just one district, not just one league, but every school in the county. There's about
Delano
35
to Fraser
of them.
Mountain, from Taft to Kern Valley.
To Ridgecrest, all the way, yeah. The entire Kern County.
Yep.
So, Manual Christian, nice pull.
Thank you.
We did have a swimmer of the year from Manual Christian a few years back, a girl swimmer of the year. She's Mary Hansen. So, winter sports obviously have been over for a few weeks now, but we are doing the All-Star teams this weekend. Check them out. The soccer teams, boys and girls soccer in Friday's California, and then boys and girls wrestling in Saturday, and boys and girls basketball in Sunday. The players of the year and wrestlers of the year, we're going to unveil those right now, though. Let's start with soccer. The boys soccer player of the year is Centennial's Grant Fiddler. So congratulations to Mr. Fiddler. He's a big-time scoring threat, Trevor, and just about the biggest difference maker out there.
Oh, completely. This year, because it was such a funky year because, in the top three divisions, nobody really could do anything when it came to playoff time. But when you looked at it, and one player that was a difference maker was Grant Fiddler. He's going to UC Davis on scholarship next year, and he really was a facilitator and was responsible for every single goal the Golden Hawks scored this season. Incredible.
Yeah, either via goal or assist. He was contributed on that. So he is your boys soccer BVarsity player of the year. Congratulations to Grant Fiddler. On the girls soccer side, it's kind of the same thing. Not a lot of postseason success for Kern County teams this year.
No section champs on the girls soccer for Kern County teams.
Except for Rosemont.
Yes.
Rosemont did win one down in Division 6. But anyway, that's just the way it was this year. I mean, there's been plenty of soccer success in other years. Didn't happen this year. So our player of the year was a pretty difficult choice, as most of these are pretty difficult choices because you got a lot of good choices. But we went with another Frontier player. They got already a rich girls soccer history out there, and it is Chloe Jones, a sophomore, right?
Junior.
A junior.
And shows that the youth movement is happening this year, started this year, and will continue into next year. In girls soccer. Frontier, a team that played, I think, 15 matches all year, couldn't get anything going in December, much like a lot of teams, because they had a lot of cancellations because of
that was
weather.
Another reason it was a weird
Yeah,
soccer
it was
season.
really weird season, and so there were a lot of issues, but Chloe really the focal point, the SWIL Offensive Player of the Year, and our 2016-2017 BVarsity Girls Soccer Player of the Year. Congratulations.
So not only an example of the youth movement, but also an example of the fact, don't pronounce anybody's name until somebody does it for you, because I wouldn't have guessed Chloe there, but it is Chloe Jones,
yes, sir.
Of Frontier. She's your Girls Soccer Player of the Year. Moving on now, Saturday publication, we'll have it, and again, the entire soccer all-area teams, we've got, what do we have, 11 or 12 on the first team? 11 plus the Player of the Year. So the 11 first-teamers, then I think 12 second-teamers, and then a bunch of honorable mentions as well. And that's in boys and girls soccer. That's coming in your Californian tomorrow morning and on Bakersfield.com. Of course, it'll be up late tonight on Bakersfield.com. All the photos, some great photos, action photos throughout the year, and as well as the portraits our great photo staff took up in our studio over the last couple of weeks. Then on Saturday, we're going to have wrestling teams. And yes, I said plural teams, because in the past where we've had a boys wrestling all-area team, we now have, well, actually, we just called it the wrestling all-area team because at first it was co-ed wrestling. And then even the past few years as girls wrestling became an officially sanctioned sport, frankly, there weren't enough girls wrestlers in Kern County to have an all-area team. There's only 23 last year, I want to say 24. Girls wrestlers in Kern County.
And I think we had 150 this year.
I think it was more like 90-something. But that's the number I was told. But
okay.
It was, anyway, you can't pick a 14-person all-area team out of 24. It's just that you're watering it down a little bit too much for our taste there. But now that we had up close to 100 girls wrestlers participating this year, first Kern County championships in girls wrestling.
All-girls duel between Golden Valley and Shafter.
And it was just a terrific year for girls wrestling. We thought, you know what, it's time to do it. We're going to have a girls wrestling all-area team. Now, we did not go second team and honorable mention.
No, we did not.
Again, just not quite enough participation yet, but I promise you we're going to get there in the next 2, 3, 5 years.
There were, and I will say this, as we were doing the selections, there were a few girls that were up for first team that did not make it, that if there was a second team, they would have been on there, girls that made it to the section tournament. But, we kept it.
Kind of dipped our toe in the pool this year. This first year, we'll do a first team, and we have a wrestler and coach of the year. And then next year or the year after, introduce the second team in the honorable mention. Just as the sport grows, and it is growing. So your girls wrestling Wrestler of the Year, the first one, you can never take this away from her, in the history of girls wrestling in Kern County. She is the first BVarsity Girls Wrestler of the Year from East Bakersfield High School, Cindy Palayo.
Junior.
And she is a junior, and she was the only girls wrestler in the county to place at state. She was sixth place, I believe, at 126 pounds.
That is correct. She had what she called, it was difficult for her to finish the way she did, but she said that the biggest moment for her was in the match, in the consolations, where she knew that she solidified
the blood round, as they call it.
Yeah, blood round. She solidified a medal.
Yeah.
That she left the mat, ran up, hugged her mom. They both cried, and she realized that she was a state medalist. And with that, she is our Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations, Cindy Palayo.
She's also a county champion and a section champion, right?
She was not second
in the section. Yeah.
Second section champion and that's another thing, is that she's learning the sport. She just took it up as a freshman in high school. As she goes, the rest of the sport goes as well, especially here in Kern County. So this is a really big event, I think, for you and I, and for the county itself, and the coaches and the wrestlers that are all involved. This is an honor that is a special one.
So again, Coach of the Year for all these sports, and the all-area teams will be in the Californian. We move on to boys wrestling. I say a lot of them were hard choices. This one, not such a hard choice. Navante Demison of Bakersfield. For the third consecutive year, he is your BVarsity Wrestler of the Year, Boys Wrestler of the Year. And for the second consecutive year, Navante was the state champ, this time at 145 pounds. And quite frankly, last year, there were some matches. He had close matches. He had to sweat them out. Didn't have to sweat a whole lot this year, at least not from the perspective
Undefeated.
That is the state title match. You see the photo of there. And Navante, I remember him as a 106-pound freshman. He was third in the state, and he was a scrawny little guy. And now he is one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers, not just in the state, not just in the county, but in the nation, and headed to Arizona State next year. Can't say enough about what Navante did in his BHS career.
Man, I mean, you talk about, the lore that is BHS wrestling over the years, and you've got to put him up there.
He's on the Mount Rushmore, I think.
As Vasquez with the Varners.
Varner, and Nathan Morgan, maybe, and Bryce Hammond deserves to be in that conversation, but Navante Demison is right there with any of them. He was third, second, first, and first in his 4 years. That means he lost 2 matches in the state tournament in 4 years. Spectacular.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing what he can do in Arizona State and beyond.
Too.
Yeah, just a great kid.
And you know what? And I always beat the horse when it comes to multi-sport athletes, and he really solidified himself as one once again, because he didn't play football his sophomore, junior year, and then decided, because all of his buddies, his best friend Josh Moran, they were all playing football, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to help them win a section title again, and that's exactly what he did.
And because of that, he goes into wrestling. You have to be in shape to play football, don't get me wrong, but it's a different kind of shape.
Yeah.
It's short bursts. You get a 10-second burst and then a 30-second break, a 10-second burst and a 30-second break. In wrestling, you got to go constantly for 6 minutes.
And it didn't hurt him. And I've seen other guys like that. Joey Banks up in the Sacramento area, who played 2 years at Sac State on a football scholarship. He was a guy that did the same thing. He was a 195-pounder. His senior year went in and went undefeated up until he got to state. And it was really neat to see guys that leave the football field and go into wrestling and do well. And usually you see it at the heavyweight divisions or the 195s or the 220s. To see a guy at 140, 145 be able to do that, it was incredible.
Yeah, he was. That's a good word for him. Incredible. So the wrestling all-area teams, Navante's boys wrestling team, the rest of the team, including state runner-up Elijah Ozuna of Frontier, we should mention. A lot of years that's good enough to get your Wrestler of the Year. Just not if you're up against Navante Demison. And then the inaugural girls wrestling team, all-area team, that will be in Saturday's paper. Sunday is basketball day. And we'll start with girls basketball, and from the best team in town, the best player in town, your 2016-17 BVarsity Player of the Year is Kalasia Dean of Independence. And she just a terrific defensive player and really an emotional leader for a really good team.
And she's so smart. Her and her dad, Kel, spend countless hours just trying everything out. thinking of every situation. And so when she gets into it, like she did against Golden Valley, where they were down by 1 to the Bulldogs, and she gets the rebound, and instead of just trying to throw the putback, she was smart enough and talked about how, she knew that she had to hit it off the backboard to be able to get it in because of the angle that she had as she was falling away. And moments like that, she did the same thing against Legacy. She was the facilitator and the big scorer against Orangewood Academy in the D2 SoCal semifinals. She was just such an incredible basketball player. And I talked to Nate Johnson, who, if for those that don't know, did step down as the head coach at Independence this week. So he did have one great shining moment once again as a basketball coach.
Could have been coach of the year.
Yeah,
you'll have to see on Sunday whether he's the
could be, could not be.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, I talked to Nate. I said, what would if she was 5 inches taller? Because she's 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", max. And I said, if she was 5 inches taller, would she be a huge D1 prospect? He goes, the way that she plays basketball, her ball handling and her leadership skills and her innate ability to understand the game, yes. Yeah. And that's basically what it is. She is a dominating basketball player, regardless of her size. So congratulations.
Kalasia Dean of Independence, our 2016-17 BVarsity Girls Basketball Player of the Year. The Boys Basketball Player of the Year for the second straight year comes to you from Ridgeview High School. Last year's Isaiah Martin. This year, another senior headed for Long Beach State, Jordan Roberts. And there was competition for this one, boy. I'll tell you.
This was not easy.
Yeah.
This decision was the toughest decision that was made when it came to picking athletes of the year in winter sports.
Could have been his teammate Justin McCall.
Could have been Alec
Check of Centennial.
Yep.
Anais Madron of Liberty, a terrific year. BHS, a little more spread out as far as their contributors. They had a very good team. But ultimately, Jordan Roberts, I think, separates himself because when it came down to crunch time for Ridgeview, he elevated his game.
He
time
did.
and again.
Watch this shot coming up.
There's a good, yeah.
I love that.
And it was offense and defense, yeah.
The thing about Jordan, and he will admit it, Mike Martins admit it, and his buddy and teammate Justin McCall admits it, he changed. The minute they lost to JW North in the SoCal playoffs last year, he and Justin took on leadership roles, and Jordan turned into a guy that was a physical specimen on the basketball court to a leader and a ferocious player, and showed a toughness that I had never seen in the previous 2 years on the varsity level that he did as a sophomore and junior when he was a fantastic basketball player. But something changed within him this year, and he admits it, that over the summer he was learning to be more of a leader. He was being vocal. He doesn't like it, but he's being vocal. He was yelling at players, and he was learning how to become a leader, and it really showed. They beat BHS twice in December and led him to the ultimate goal, and that was a D2 section title.
So we got to get Cal State, Bakersfield, and Long Beach State to play each other because Justin McCall headed to CSUB. Yeah. Jordan headed to Long Beach. But before he goes to Long Beach, he is your BVarsity Boys Basketball Player of the Year, so congratulations to him.
And our thoughts and prayers are out to the Roberts family.
And that's right. He just lost his dad this week, so our thoughts and prayers certainly with Jordan and brother Robert. Okay, we got a quick video highlight.
I'm sorry. I feel for him. I feel for anybody.
And I know you lost your dad around the same age. So
I did, and it's a tough situation when you think about that. And so if anybody's out there and they just want to, just give Jordan a hug, just tell him that they're thinking about him, I would do it because that kid's fantastic and he needs all the support right now.
So tough week for him, but he will be our basketball player of the year, honored on Sunday. So get your all-area teams. We do have a short video highlight package of our players of the year. Our apologies, first of all, to Chloe Jones of Frontier, the girls soccer player of the year, just didn't have highlights.
Yeah, it was just one of those years. But Chris,
like we said, let's
go ahead and show the highlights of what these athletes of the year did for us this year. It's pretty incredible. Jordan on the basketball court, just really a leader, a fun guy to be around. Kalasia, she had that great ability to shoot from long range, but even with the, height disadvantage, she was still able to drive to the court. Grant Fiddler, leader, captain for Centennial
He's the
this
blonde
year.
one.
Yep, right there, number 9. This guy, Navante, I mean, we could talk for days about just how great he is as an athlete, what he was able to do on the wrestling mat this year. This is video from Yosemite Divisionals. I mean, that's one of the greatest moves that I've seen at the high school level where he's able to just flip his opponent. And
the cow catcher.
Yeah. There is number 13, Chloe Jones for Frontier. More Jordan here showing his ability to drive to the hoop. Defensive, watch McCall give him the outlet. Goes aerial.
Dunk City there at Ridgeview this year.
It was Dunk City for them, and this just shows – I'm not even going to talk. That's Grant Fiddler, ladies and gentlemen.
How long can you say goal for after that? That was a golazo, as they say.
That was out there at State Farm when they had to play a league game out at State Farm against BHS. More Roberts here. A lot of great games against Independence over the years. A lot of great games against West over the years. And more Dean, look at this. She gets the offensive rebound, decides, you know what? I'm not going to
go straight back up. This one's worth one more point back here.
Yeah, I can do that. And then she falls to the court and gets right back up. And then here are the two shining moments for Dean and for Roberts. Scoring points, she went double digits there in the section championship. They're winning 3 straight. And as you can see, the girls start throwing up.
Number 3.
Threes.
3-peat.
So congratulations. And then the celebration. And I think this moment right here really solidified it with McCall and Roberts enjoying that moment together with Quentin Croney there too. 3 seniors that have been part of that team. Big part of that team over the last 3 years.
And they had heartbreak in the finals as juniors, and they got it done as seniors, so that's always a terrific
redemption
moment.
Is a great thing.
So our all-area teams, one more time, all league teams are in today's paper. If you want to pick it up, they're also on Bakersfield.com. The soccer teams, boys and girls, will be in Friday's paper. Boys and girls wrestling on Saturday, the first ever girls wrestling team, and boys and girls basketball on Sunday. Our thanks to Stan Green of the Kern High School District for stopping by for a few minutes. Also to Nick Papagni of thepagmeter.com. You can catch his show at 5 o'clock today on 940 ESPNFresno.com, and also Edison coach Matt Johnson for joining us. Our producer is Chris McCullough, as always, and our thanks to you guys for tuning in. He's Trevor Horn. I'm Zach Ewing, and we'll see you next week. Or no, we won't see you next week.
Have a spring break.
We're off next week.
Enjoy it.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, go take a nap.
Looking deep down the left side, Mendeville into the end zone, touchdown!